The reality of raising animals for food is that sooner or later the time comes to process them and put them in our fridge and freezer. For us as meat eaters, we wanted to be 100% involved in the raising, slaughter, butchering and processing of the meat we eat, which is why we have chosen this path on land. We'd spent August and September preparing delicious products from the first pig we processed in winter. With still some space left in our fridge and freezer, it was time to cull another pig to stock up on meat for spring and summer. We couldn't leave the culling any longer as the approaching warmer weather and accompanying flies would increase the risk of spoilage, particularly since we don't have a cool room for hanging the carcass. We want to breed our 3 largest pigs over summer, so that meant culling our smallest pig, Chipolata. We separated her out from the other pigs using the sorting yard and gave her some food as a distraction. As I led the 3 other pigs to their feeders, Troy's brother-in-law stunned Chippy with his pistol. Troy then cut her throat and I collected the blood for cooking, stirring it to prevent coagulation and fighting back tears.
I'm okay, I'm just having a moment for Chip. I didn't expect to cry, but I am. She had a good life, so that's good. She was a happy little pig.
So, you okay, Pesky?
I'm alright, I got a bit
never
sad.
easy, is it?
Yeah.
We pay a little bit of a price for our food, but we're okay with that. So the setup that we've got at the moment is we've got the 44, it's half full of water. If it was full of water, just like Archimedes would say, once we dump a pig in, it just spills all water. So we're just waiting for that to get to 65 degrees C, which I think is about 145. This here, we've got a cut down IBC that you might have seen us making. Last time we did one of these pigs, there was quite a bit of hair that fell down, and while we were occupied, the dog got in there and ate a quantity of it because
made her quite sick.
Well,
not like unwell, but she was just.
Yeah, she was really happy with it, and then come bedtime, she just retched up a whole lot of pig hair in various strategic locations through our house. So what we'll do is we've got the IBC here, and we want to save all the pig hair. And then I think what we'll do, Pasky, is next time we're sheep mulching the garden, we'll lay out that hair because that's a good slow release nitrogen anyway. We'll probably get a bit of guts and stuff like that in there, but it'll just save it from going all over the concrete and having a clean up, because what these are made of is incredibly easy to clean, so I'll be pretty happy with that.
Lowered it in?
So we've lowered it in, and the important thing is to kind of agitate it a bit as well. It's not as important with a pig as, say, a chicken. Like a chicken or a duck, they really, the feathers mat down and they stops the water penetrating. I've also, on the other side here, I've got like a little temperature probe in there to make sure it doesn't drop below 60. So I've turned the gas off at the moment. We lowered the pig in right till the water just started to spill out these little holes. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the most part, it comes off pretty well, just by the scraping. But it also helps. There's some hairs that are very, very resistant to coming out, and it does help to just have a sharp knife that'll actually shape and then.
We started scraping the skin with the pig hanging from the gambrel, but for the second half of the pig we found it much easier to lay it down on a pallet, as we did not need to steady the carcass as we went. With the morning getting warmer, we flamed any of the remaining hairs and pressure washed the carcass to clean it before gutting.
Very gentle, huh? Just the skin. Lightest of touches.
Yeah, it's just to open it up. Last time I made a mistake because I kept trying to just open it a little bit.
Yeah.
But we want that to actually hold until we're ready to gut it. Well, that's it. A little bit of a Wilhelm Hof ice bath for our old piggy. So we don't have too many, we don't have hanging space at the moment, so bagged it up, popped it in the old cast iron bathtub with a whole stack of ice. We'll leave it there for 2 days now. Hopefully the cat doesn't have a party in there. It shouldn't. We should fill this up with water.
And then put it on the garden.
Yeah. Maybe I'll drop it around the other side with the valve closed.
Yeah.
And then it'll get water in there.
Yeah, it's going to rain a bit, so.
We'll stir it up and then we'll bucket it onto this.
Yeah, it started raining already. There's drops on the lens.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing about fruit and veggies. They're not vegan. They love blood and bone. So, yeah, well this is...
ripe.
It's ripe. It's not too offensive at the moment. There's a nice breeze out here. So, our no-dig garden is a dig garden, but it's just because we want to incorporate that waste material. It's hard with such a talented scavenger dog. Like, the main impetus for putting it in the ground here was this fence around it. Because there's nowhere else. Even the hugel bed the dog got into and just tunneled straight down a perfect hole, just straight down to the 8-week-old guts, excavated it and made off with it. And then probably came and licked me in the face. But I'm always constantly amazed by how our dog doesn't stink to high heaven.
2 days later, we pulled the primals out of their ice bath and processed them into smaller bits to rest in our spare fridge in the shed.
Well, there's lots of meat on those ribs. Do you reckon that shoulder looks bigger than the last one?
I reckon this is,
I think it is.
I think Chippy is actually bigger than the last pig.
Yeah, she did some growing in the last 8 weeks. She had to compete with that other pig. Too low. And then we have back fat.
That is fabulous riches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know how to eat them. Look at my little gammon bit.
Yum. Delicious.
That's more tender.
Yeah. Than your last pig.
Yeah.
We made a bit of a mess of the last tenderloin, huh?
We had made a mess of the last tenderloin when we were actually gutting the pig.
Oh, right. I'll just get another container for it. I can trim it up.
Off?
Are we prosciuttoing one? It's kind of cool to have the foot on.
Is it? I can do that for you.
Just leave it on.
Alright. Just for the time being though.
Just put it away.
Put it down.
That is the loin. Ooh, it's coming off the back fat. Look at that.
I'm so worried about cutting my apron.
Well, that was a good job.
What you doing, Pasky?
I'm pushing the blood out.
Not much left in there though, eh?
Yeah, I think because it didn't hang, there is some, see? It didn't hang this pig, so...
You'd hung the whole time.
We were gutting it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not 2 days like the other one. The other one didn't have any blood really.
so today's been a really busy day. We've been butchering our pig, but this morning before we were butchering all the meats, I whipped up some Leverpostej, some Danish Leverpostej or Leverpostej.
Oh, you're a brave girl.
Show you what they look like.
We've really been trying to use as much of the animal as possible, and Patsy's been really exploring some amazing culinary excursions.
A little liver cake that you can have with bread, potatoes, salad.
What is it?
Slice it up. It's a liver pate.
So bacon?
But wrapped in bacon.
Oh my god.
But the top's like a beautiful shiny colour. It's mainly eggs and liver and cream.
We'll get back on camera when we open one up and try one.
We're a bit full at the moment because we tucked into ribs about 2 hours ago and they were really delicious and fatty and we're super full from it. So I don't even think I'll be having dinner tonight. They were so filling.
No, but it's kept our energy up through the whole that butchering process. So yesterday was the gutting and everything of the pig.
Yeah.
And today was to knock it back into, well, it's sub-primals because we cut it into the primals yesterday so we could ice it.
So we could ice it.
We haven't weighed the head yet, but what did the pig dress out to?
Without the head?
I think it was about 81 kilos.
Oh, really?
2 lots of 24 plus a 30. So 50 plus 30, it's about 80 kilos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so more than our last pig.
So 80 kilos of just meat and bone. We haven't weighed the head yet, and we didn't weigh the heart.
The heart, the liver.
The kidneys.
The kidneys. The heart, the liver and the kidneys would have been roughly 2 kilos.
Do you
with
think
the lungs as well.
Yeah, Patsy saved the lungs, and I've never heard of anyone, well, here in Australia, using the lungs.
So if you have a recipe for pork lungs,
let
us know. I know they're edible, I just haven't found any recipes yet.
Yeah, so hit us up in the comments if anyone out there's got some insight for us. That'd be really great.
Whilst we've kept some of the back fat in slabs to make lardo, which is a cured fat product, kind of like a pancetta but only with fat. There were some off-cut trim bits that we've cut off and we've put in this pressure cooker. And we're going to just add a little bit of water and then pressure cook it for a couple of hours and that will render down into fat. And it's a really energy efficient way to render down lard, and it also doesn't smell quite so bad because you have it sealed up in a pressure cooker. You might be wondering what's in here. Haven't started boiling that yet, but that is all our bones from breaking down the pig today. So apart from the ribs that we ate. So yeah, we're just going to boil. I'm going to fill this with water and give it a boil. I generally bring it to the boil and boil it for 10 minutes and then flush that water out, wash the bones and then start again. That way it just washes out, boils out any of the impurities in the bones, and I find that the stock's much clearer and it's got a better flavour. So a good tip. And that is that. So I'm going to vac seal these and keep tidying up in the kitchen because we're not quite finished yet. This one smells pretty good.
Yeah, smells great. The smell around the bone is the most important bit.
So we made a bit of a mistake. We wrapped our meat in plastic bags. I don't know why. We didn't want it to get fly blown on the way down to the fridge down here, and then we didn't unwrap it and put it on the shelves. So yeah, it's gone a bit sticky. It hasn't been in a nice, cool, dry environment. It's been in a moist, cool environment. So a bit of slime, and yeah, we're just trying to look after the meat as best we can now.
We just wiped it down with vinegar.
Yeah, we've wiped it down.
There's no problem. It's only like a day, just while my nieces were here. It sort of slowed down the...
2 days, yeah.
What I'd like to do with this fridge, is what my friend Howie said, is just mount in the door, like where these shelves are, there's a bit of a space, mount in the door a 12-volt fan out of a car.
Yeah.
You know, with the radiator, and that'll just keep the air moving in the refrigerator. He's been turning double door fridges into miniature cold rooms for hanging deer and stuff like that, so I think that'd be a great idea, a great addition. Have we still got meat to put in there? You're coordinating. So we've got that.
Yeah,
and then
that's the prosciutto. Yeah, that one, so we'll take that out. I can take the prosciutto up to the house and put it in salt. We're making another prosciutto with chipolata, so we'll be able to compare the flavours of our two pigs. With the first leg on salt for another dry cured prosciutto, we put the other ham leg into an ice brine. We planned on preparing this ham hot smoked for Christmas with our families. Okay.
Ooh, what do we got?
So we just put a 9 kilo ham into a 50 litre barrel of 20 litres of brine to brine. So it's going to be brining for at least a week.
9 kilos, 20 litres of brine. Is that important, those two sort of quantities, or you just
probably
figured
could have
that's
used less brine, but just wanted to make sure that it was fully covered, so I made 20 litres.
Okay, yeah.
So now I'm thinking maybe we could put some bacon in as well.
Yeah, so 20 litres just covered it while we were using this little wheelie bin.
Yeah, so I made the brine super concentrated, 10 litre mix. I put nitrates in. There's a mix of salt, sugar and spices. And then I added 10 kilos of ice. That keeps it cold. The brine was a little warm because I only made it today as well. So, and also we're not going to be able to put this into the fridge until we've butchered the other meat. That's currently resting for the next couple of days. So we'll have this in ice for a day or two, and then we'll put it, we'll just take the shelves out of the fridge and just put the whole brining bin in the fridge to stay cold.
If people are doing this together, is it necessary for them to couple dress to this extent?
That is your own choice.
I didn't realise that we did.
Oh, we're both wearing icebreakers as well.
We just recently got two of these cutting boards made out of 1/2 inch HDPE, high density polyethylene, and it just fits nicely onto our table here. Life changing, really, really great. Having a cutting board that's this big that can fit half an animal is amazing. And not only that, like as you're preparing different things, you can just sort of have it all there.
Yep.
And it's such an easy
really
surface to clean. HDPE's, like pastry doesn't stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to like sanitize. We're just using a product called Star San. We're not affiliated with Star San or anything. We just like it. It really has been great having a cutting board that is like a tabletop. That's the takeaway.
Well, let's go get the bacon and put it in, I think.
Oh, so there's bacon going in there.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, we're going to put some pork belly in.
Oh, I missed that.
Streaky bacon and some loin bacon. Yum.
Now with this, do you want the skin on? Because you can also, oh no, we don't want to take that fat off, do we? We want to leave it.
Nah, we'll leave the skin on. It's better for curing, for smoking.
That's fairly square. Do you just want me to square that? Or doesn't really
I would
matter?
just get rid of that messy bit. Can you? Yeah, is it possible?
Everything's possible.
Well, that's better. Neat. Yeah, cool.
Does it make your heart sing?
Yeah, that's some nice looking bacon. Alright. Trimmed and prepared, we pop these bits of bacon into the brine with the ham, before tying the cured neck muscle to make copper. Looks very neat, huh?
I like this. You can bring like Austrian autism to an Italian pastime.
We're off to Troy's sisters and brother-in-laws. We're going back to the hanging space under their house, and we've got some amazing treats here. It's very exciting. We have the back section of the leg of the ham. We're just trying this out. It's just going to be like a quick prosciutto, so I think it'll be ready in like 1 or 2 months. We'll weigh it in a month's time and see where we're at. So yeah, that looks really nice. I think we're going to have some really nice ham from that. That's just been on salt for 1 day. We have these coppers that will be hanging. I'll just show you them, that Troy tied. They've also been in salt for 1 day. So we'll be hanging those. And last but not least, we made our own salumi. Another batch of salumi from a different pig. So we've got 9 salamis here, so we're going to be hanging them as well. And let's not forget that I've got my own little spray bottle of mould ready to spray them down with the white penicillin mould, so we inoculate them with the good mould when they're down there. Thanks so much for watching, liking and subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you next time for more spring adventures on the Ramshackle Ranch.